I finally get to talk about this man. I finally get to tell the masses why he is a plague. Nothing to do with his character, by the way. I think he's a very interesting interpretation of Superman. Interpretation. Alternate universe. Elseworld. Not Superman. Injustice Superman isn't the first evil Superman, far from it. There have been many that have come before him. However, I'm not gonna act like he's not the most influential one. For those of you that are unaware, Injustice is a game that is developed by NetherRealm Studios. The same people that brought you Mortal Kombat. You know, they're a little small indie game, team. They're not really that big of a deal or anything. Just created the ESRB rating. No big deal. They're kind of the reason why that happened now. It's essentially the Batman versus Superman argument turned into an actual video game. Unlike the Batman v Superman that turned into... The reason why Superman took this dark turn is because he started hallucinating Doomsday attacking Metropolis. All for it to be a plan by the Joker for Superman to kill his pregnant wife, Lois Lane. So clearly Superman wasn't too happy, so he went and spun the block real quick. Batman has that no-kill rule, so he just watched Superman put a hole through his boyfriend's chest, and obviously he wasn't happy about that. The story goes over a couple years of Superman's regime and Batman's resistance kind of going back and forth at each other, and it's honestly a very compelling read. Over the many Injustice tie-in comics in the games, this version of Superman became incredibly popular. So much in fact that this has become some people's preferred Superman. And now I have to deal with it because this guy wants to kill people. And people like the fact that he kills people. A question I've had for so many years is why people think Superman is lame. Is it the costume? Is it the demeanor? But now in the big 2025, I think I fully understand. A lot of fans of any type of media suffer from this one condition I like to call... Have you ever thought that Batman was cooler than Superman? Have you ever had power fantasies of laying waste to your enemies? Have you ever unironically used the word aura? Did you ever have a black PFP on the Kick app? Would you walk around with a hoodie on and rolled up sleeves even though it was 80 to 90 degree weather? Well, unfortunately, as a licensed and professional doctor, I have bad news for you. This is a chronic illness that makes one attracted to something solely based off of vibes. These vibes are usually dark, mysterious, brooding, cold, things that are so edgy they could cut the fabric of space-time. Are y'all familiar of who this guy is? This is Garth Ennis. He's the author of The Boys. This man is a specimen. He may not have been patient zero of this syndrome, but he is a strong carrier of this disease. This guy does not like superheroes at all, which is why he made a comic about people in leather jackets and guns killing them. People like this are who I'm referring to when I say middle schooler syndrome. It's like people that have been reading shonen anime and manga for years, and all of a sudden they read a few chapters of Vagabond and think they have some refined taste just because it has a more mature theme. Our mortal minds couldn't comprehend something as great and as deep as this. I use Superman here because he is the main victim of the vibes argument. Superman just doesn't have the vibes compared to someone like Batman. But to be completely fair, that's not totally his fault. Not only does Batman have vibes, he also has movies, games, shows, merch, mugs, costumes, memes. We've been given so much of Batman that we have no choice but to be force-fed the vibes. Superman also has movies, also has video games, also has merch. He has everything that Batman does, it just didn't have the same type of draw or popularity. And I attribute that to the big MSS. Think about the people who have directed the most critically acclaimed Batman movies. Tim Burton. I don't need to explain this one. Christopher Nolan. Great director. Look at this man's filmography. Matt Reeves is the only thing close to an exception, but he also did direct these recent Planet of the Apes movies. So I mean, the vibes kind of translate. However, it's not to say that we haven't gotten Superman content. It's actually far from it. However, we've gotten Superman content. I use it in quotes for a reason. The reason is this is not Superman. These are not Superman. They're Superman inspired, but not Superman. Man of Steel. If this movie was any grayer, I think it'd be made in the 50s. Invincible. Injustice. The Boys. Notice how the other two aren't actually Superman, but they're clearly Superman inspired. I'm of the opinion that we have been oversaturated with a lot of Batman content over the years. It's not that we have a saturation of Superman content, we have a saturation of dark Superman content. Because everything's better when it's dark. Dark mode, dark night, Darkwing Duck. It's just the preferred aesthetic. Dark is cool. Virgil is cool. Shadow the Hedgehog is cool. Not because their respective counterparts aren't cool. It's just being stoic, serious, and nonchalant are seen as cool. If you're those things, you're the cool guy. Now I have to deal with people unironically having aura arguments. This is a metric nowadays that is taken incredibly seriously for no apparent fucking reason. I didn't really want to talk too much about the character itself and go into like a deep analysis or whatever. I just kind of wanted to talk more about the impact. Using Injustice Superman was the perfect segue because he's the opposite of everything that Superman stands for, and that ended up making him more appealing. And just because this version of Superman is interesting and compelling doesn't mean we need to see it all the time. Doesn't mean that this idea should be pushed even further. My Adventures with Superman has been a great show thus far, and hopefully James Gunn delivers with this new Superman movie, because I would love to see this Superman being pushed forward, the Superman that's a hero. And I really hope that Superman is on top for the time being, until a Batman movie comes out, then he's just relegated to second place yet again. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. I'm looking forward to reading your comments down below. But until then, this has been Ethan, and I'ma see you when I see you.